Welcome back to Uncorking the Issues, where we pour clarity into Temecula Valley politics. I'm your host, Grapevine. This podcast discusses political and civic issues. The views expressed are solely those of the host and guests and do not represent any political party, campaign, school district, or government entity. Today's episode is titled District by District, the 2026 Playbook to Flip Temecula. I'm your host, Grapevine. Today, we're going deeper. Not surface level takes, not social media noise. We're breaking down exactly how a progressive could flip Temecula City Council 2026, district by district, with a real playbook, because 3 seats are up: District 1, District 3, and District 5. And if you're serious about changing direction in this city, you don't just hope for a wave, you execute. Let's start with the reality. Most campaigns ignore. Temecula is not ideologically driven. It's emotionally driven. People don't vote based on party labels as much as they vote based on how the city feels to them. Does it feel like it's working? Does it feel like someone's listening? Or does it feel like decisions are happening somewhere else without them? That's the opening. And if you don't understand that, you lose all 3 districts before you even print your first flyer. District 1, this is Matt Ron's seat. And if you're a progressive campaign thinking this is where you come in loud, aggressive, and ideological, you're walking straight into a loss. District 1 voters lean more stable, more homeowner-focused, more risk-averse. These are people who worry about property values, traffic congestion, and whether the city is being managed responsibly. They are not looking for a revolution. They are looking for competence. So the winning candidate here doesn't look like an activist. They look like a problem solver. Someone who can talk about development without sounding anti-growth. Someone who can talk about infrastructure without sounding abstract. Someone who can sit across from a skeptical voter and say, here's what's not working, and here's how we fix it, without making it political. And here's the strategic shift that matters. You don't run against Ron as a person, you run against the feeling of drift. Because what many voters feel, even if they don't say it out loud, is that the city is growing, but not always thoughtfully. Traffic gets worse. Projects get approved, and residents feel like they're reacting instead of being included. So your message becomes smart growth, not rushed growth. Planning before approving, infrastructure before expansion, and accountability, not chaos. Because the moment your campaign feels chaotic, you lose District 1. Win condition? Win trust first. Votes come second. District 3. This is the hinge. Brendan Kalfas holds this seat, and this is where control of the council is realistically decided. District 3 is mixed. You've got families balancing work and school. You've got newer residents who aren't deeply tied into local politics. You've got voters who are persuadable, but only if you reach them early and clearly. And here's the mistake campaigns make here. They overcomplicate. They throw 10 issues at voters, hoping something sticks. That doesn't work. District 3 is 1 with clarity. 3 issues: traffic, cost of living, accountability. That's the lane. Your candidate should be the most calm, grounded, and reasonable voice in the race. Not the loudest, not the most reactive, the one voters trust when everything else feels noisy. And here's where the real game is played. Not online, at the door. District 3 is a ground game district. If your campaign knocks doors consistently for 6 months, if you follow up with voters, if your name is the first one they hear, you've already shifted the race before your opponent even ramps up, because most voters here don't decide until late. So whoever defines themselves first wins. Win condition? Out organize, out introduce, out discipline. You don't need a wave in District 3. You need a plan. District 5, this is where campaigns get excited and then make mistakes. Because District 5 has energy, more younger voters, more movement, more people open to change. And that leads campaigns to assume this is the easy one. It's not, because energy without turnout is just noise. You might have more people who agree with you, but if they don't vote, it doesn't matter. So the strategy here is different. You don't just persuade, You mobilize. You build a campaign that feels human, visible, present, not polished and distant, but accessible and real. You show up at community spaces. You engage around schools, create messaging that feels like a conversation, not a lecture. And you make voting feel relevant, immediate, connected to daily life. Because here's the truth. A lot of voters in District 5 don't feel like local government affects them. So you have to close that gap. You have to connect decisions to real impacts. Housing, schools, quality of life. And you have to do it in a way that doesn't feel ideological. Because the moment it feels like a political lecture, you shrink your coalition. Win condition, turn interest into action, turn agreement into turnout, and never assume enthusiasm equals votes. Now, step back. At District 1, District 3, District 5, three completely different paths. District 1 is about persuasion and trust. District 3 is about discipline and organization. District 5 is about energy and mobilization. And here's where most campaigns fail. They try to run the same campaign everywhere. Same message, same tone, same strategy. That doesn't work in Temecula. Winning campaigns adapt. They adjust tone. They adjust messaging. They meet voters where they are, not where they wish they were. And then there's the piece no one likes to talk about: time. If you're starting 6 weeks before the election, you're too late. Winning these districts means starting early. Building lists, recruiting volunteers, identifying voters before anyone else is paying attention, because elections like this are decided quietly, not in headlines, not in viral moments, but in conversations, driveways, doorsteps, moments where someone feels heard, maybe for the first time. And finally, turnout. This is the whole game. Temecula elections are not decided by who has the best argument. They're decided by who gets their voters to actually show up. So, your campaign needs a turnout machine: texts, calls, reminders, ballot tracking, follow-up. You don't just inspire people to vote, you help them finish the process. Because a supporter who doesn't return a ballot is the same as a vote for the other side. So, here's the bottom line. Flipping Temecula in 2026 is not a fantasy, but it is hard. It requires discipline. It requires the right candidates. It requires campaigns that understand their district, not just their message. 3 seats, 3 strategies, 1 outcome, and a city that is closer to change than most people realize. This is Grapevine. Thanks for listening.